not trying to die by pushing somebody's uterus back in. So being a women's health almost killed me once upon a time early in my career. And it's been one of those things that I think of almost daily because of my exposures. Hi, I'm your local OBGYN. I love women. Let's talk about this. So when I was in medical school, I finally got on my OBGYN rotation, which means that you go and you spend a lot of time in the hospital trailing the residents and attendings and learning about women's health, kind of like a taste of this field, but then you kind of have to show that like you're invested and you're willing to like learn and expand your mind on a subject. So I had to do a presentation in front of all the big heads and brains that knew way more than me, and I chose to do one about prolapse and pessaries. Sounds super sexy, but I almost died, so whatever, we'll get there. And what happened was I did this whole very cool historical analysis of pessaries, which is super gross and super barbaric in the grand scheme of things. But, I was like the good student, and I went to one of the doctors and I was like, can I have a pessary so I can show people what it looks like and pass it around? And they're like, of course, like take a pessary. So I picked the one that's like the weirdest shape, and there's either the cube or the donut, but the donut you could kind of like squish. So I picked that one. So the day of my presentation comes and I do my presentation. I rip open the pessary and I hand it out and I send it off to all of the students that are sitting in the lecture, as well as all of the grown-up attendings that are there. And in the middle of my lecture, I start to itch, and I'm like, WTF is going on? I'm itching and my eyes are watering, and I finish my lecture and I sit down and it went great. I look like I actually like put some time and effort into it. However, within about 2 hours of me getting home, my eyes were bright red. And I was actually going to the beach that weekend with my now husband, and we went there and I met my parents, and I was like, I gotta take a nap. Like, something is not right in this world. And I take a nap and I wake up, but I don't wake up because my eyes are swollen shut. So here's the deal. The pessaries are these like rubber silicone objects. Some have like an air squishy middle and some are more solid, but they're coated in this like very fine powder, or at least they were at the time. And I touched the powder, I handed it off, and I let people pass it around because it was brand new, so nobody had used it before. But something in this combination made me anaphylax, like legit for real. Now, the good news is it didn't have airway involvement for me. The bad news is I had to go on some pretty hefty meds because I could not see for about 12 hours. It was about a day before I could open up my eyes, and I looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Lady. And to this day, I am very cautious when I have to handle new pessaries. I have gloves on and I make sure that I wash them well and that I wash my hands really well afterwards because I'm not trying to die by pushing somebody's uterus back in.